Okay, we're officially underway here. My obeisances to everyone. Vanshakapatarubhyascha kripa sindhubevacha patitanang pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. And boy, am I grateful to be able to have the privilege of serving all of you. Our prayers to Srila Prabhupada for his blessings, presence, and inspiration. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitanamane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharane Nirvashesha Shonyavari Paskachade Shitarne. And I will chant Om Jnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshur Om Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkest of ignorance, but my spiritual master has opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Jai.
Jai.
Ghanshyam Prabhu was talking about his friend in Nepal who has some familiarity with the Krishna philosophy, and he wants to know more. So the thought that comes in my mind, you've all probably heard me give my analogy of the father who took his son to a harmonium teacher to learn how to play the harmonium. Does everyone remember this analogy? And I should say it for those who don't remember it or haven't heard it, because it's so true. So he asked how much it would be. It was something like 500 rupees or something. I'm just making that up, but let's just call it 500 rupees. And within no time, the son was playing beautiful harmonium. So the father was thinking, well, geez, maybe I should take some lessons. I already know how to play harmonium, but my son is so much better than I am. So he went to the harmonium teacher and said, I would like to take lessons. And but unlike my son, I already know a thing or two. So what is my price going to be? And he said, oh, for you, 200 rupees instead of 100 rupees. So I said, what do you mean? I said, I already know some things. And he said, I have to charge you more because we're going to have to get rid of all your bad habits. Do you understand that, Ghanshyam? In other words, people that have heard our philosophy but have not heard it from a pure source, they have a distorted understanding of the philosophy. They've got it wrong. So first you got to clear that out, and that can really get in the way. And I see that so often with people. Oh, yes, I know Hare Krishna, I know Hare Ram. They think they know a bunch of stuff, but they've got it all wrong. Yes, Krishna, he came from Vishnu. So many misconceptions. But that in one way was the blessing of being born in the Western world, where we didn't have a chance to get the philosophy wrong. We didn't know the philosophy at all. As you've many times heard me say, I never even heard the name Krishna till I was, I think, 20 years old. I never heard Brahma. I never heard of Shiva. So I couldn't get anything wrong. I never heard of Ganesh. I never heard of any of these guys. All I knew was, American stuff, where to get good hamburgers, and of course. No, at that time I was not a vegetarian. That was just before I became a vegetarian. So yeah, I had all kinds of good information about how to enjoy the material world. Little did I know that I wasn't enjoying anything. I was actually suffering. So okay. Okay, I'll get back to that. My friends is texting. Anyone have any epiphanies or anything new that you'd like to mention? Any inspirational thoughts that you would like to share? Malati.
Gurudev, is just not something I just want to say what you said just now about the analogy you gave. I just want to say that there's another, for me anyway, I think there's another side to that coin.
You're
because
right. Go ahead. Good.
because
I know where you're going with this.
the Indians, yes, because from time immemorial, I don't know when, but because with degradation of Kali Yuga, we are taught that Vishnu is the Supreme Lord, or Shiva, some Lord Ganesh or Kartikeya, we are taught that. But we understand an authority, which because in Western devotees, once they learn about the demigods, I mean, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be disrespectful or being
No, it's good.
because they have no unless we understand and learn as Indians. When we learn that, when it clicks that we understand about the Supreme Personality of Godhead is Krishna, then everybody else, we understand there's a place and there's more respect. We already have respect for the demigods because we are not, who are we compared to them, right?
Great point.
So we understand that, and then we understand there's a supreme authority, that which is Krishna, and then our desires become changed, in the sense when we don't go to the demigods, but if we do go, we only ask for that. We want Krishna Prema. Please take me to Krishna. Show me how, remove my, like Lord Ganesh removes all obstacles. Please, Lord Ganesh, you remove all my obstacles so I can, my heart will be just fixed on Krishna. But with devotees who have only learned about Krishna right away, in the beginning, I've noticed that they have no respect for demigods until they have understood that we are nothing compared to even the demigods, even the Mishra Bhaktas or mixed Bhaktas, but yet they are there, they understand who is their Supreme Personality of Godhead, and this is their only little fault that they have desires, but that authority is there. So this is what I find, that there's the other side of the coin. Since coming to Krishna consciousness, and especially in E-Sangha, I've learned this really well. I'm sorry, I don't mean to.
No. It's good. It's good. You're broadening it. You're broadening the perspective, and it's helping me, because it's true that they do respect authority, and yeah, they're all very valid points that you've made. So yeah, that broadens everything, and that's helpful. But I believe it was Prabhupada that did tell that story about the harmonium player.
He did,
I've heard it. I've heard it since I was a very young devotee.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, Prabhupada did tell that story.
Yes, he did. I heard that also.
And he also Prabhupada found that when he was trying to spread Krishna consciousness before he came to America in Jhansi, it didn't go well. Nobody was.
Yeah.
Nobody would accept.
Yeah.
But when the Westerners started to accept, then he returned to India with what he called his dancing white elephants. And then that really made those in India in particular take notice, because they thought the Western sense gratification of the West is where it's at. And when they saw Westerners rejecting it, it was very powerful. That really helped to clear their slate of knowledge and help them get it right. But it's true. They're pious and respectful, and they understand basic things like karma. We're not starting from scratch when you speak to even someone who isn't so knowledgeable. Everybody knows karma. Everybody knows reincarnation. It's just, it's just a fact. Westerners, you gotta like pulling teeth to get him to understand that we aren't the body, or that we're transmigrating, that this life is one of innumerable lives. And everything that's happening to us is a result of our past. Anybody from India, they got the basics. They got the basics down. We just have to straighten out a few things. And yeah, that's a good point. That's an excellent point, and I thank you for saying that. But you will go to hell for correcting your guru.
What? I did correct my guru. That's why I said I don't need to disrespect. I want to say, Tirtha Prabhu, you have to help me here.
I think he picks on you because he loves you, Malachi.
You are the closest to Gurudev, so you got to help me here.
Oh my goodness.
She wasn't correcting. She was adding. She was adding to what I was saying. Yes. And she was broadening it, and it was very helpful. It's helpful to me even, actually. Now I'm going to have to add some of what Malachi talked about when I tell the story of the harmonium. I don't think I'll ever forget that. That's great. Very helpful. Very helpful. Okay. Any other epiphanies or any? Tirtha Prabhu.
I just want to say, well, I've been teaching Monday through Friday in the mornings. I'm now a corporate chaplain. I'm a chaplain with a financial corporation that are very into spiritual principles, very much into Jesus. And so I'm with them Monday through Friday mornings and other times when they call and I've noticed something. Like right now I'm teaching about the Our Father, the Lord's Prayer, and the spiritual principles that the outline for prayer that Jesus gave in that. And I began, so like I'm talking about, okay, this section is referring to surrender. It's referring to service. And I'll talk at another point about doing everything for God, doing everything for God, not being so attached to the results, but just doing it. And I'm thinking, I'm teaching Vaishnava principles. It's all in Scripture. It's all
definitely.
It's all in what Jesus taught. It's all there, but I didn't see it as clearly before.
Right.
And this is interesting to me, that studying the Bible, I did not fully understand what the Bible was saying. That looking at it then from the perspective of Vaishnava teaching, literature, and philosophy, the Bible has taken on so much more depth and meaning. So I just find myself doing that, and I'm thinking, this is a little different than I would have explained it a few years ago. And I realized, there's this, this has really informed and helped me to better understand what Jesus came to do. So anyway, that was my realization.
That was wonderful. So, by the way, I want to announce that on Christmas Eve at 6 a.m. Hawaii time, on our East Sangha, Tirtha Prabhu, I think that's on a Wednesday because Christmas is on Thursday. Tirtha Prabhu is going to give a class for Christmas Eve, and he'll talk about Jesus. What you were just saying, I was already planning to ask you ahead of time if there's any way you could, if it would not be inappropriate, to talk about, or somewhere in your talk, how it is that you are able to see the Leelas of Krishna all the way up to conjugal love. And I was telling you that the professor, when I mentioned that, and he said, "Oh, but in Christianity, Jesus is the Father. That's all he knew. But you, he said, and I said, it's all in the Bible. And he wanted me to go on.
Right.
And I said, I can hook you up with my student and he can explain it, but I'm not, I can't go there. But if you could talk about that some,
Yeah.
if that can fit in,
Oh,
devotees would love to hear
absolutely.
that. Yeah.
I would love to connect that. Actually,
Good.
that would fit in very well with that, because I'm really wanting to hit the whole aspect of love relationship with God, that Jesus came so that we would really have this love for God. And yeah, that would fit very well. Sure.
Great. And Ellie Prabhu, if Jason's able to come, that'd be a great class for him to attend if he could join us on
Yes,
on
I'll,
if he's not working or something, if he's free, it'd be great to have him
yeah, he will be.
listen in. I think
Yeah,
we'll get a lot out of
All
that.
right. Great.
Yeah, I'm
yeah, I'll
looking
make sure
forward
he's
to
there
that.
too. Could you
Okay.
please send out the link to that, or maybe put it in the chat? Or do we know how to connect to that yet?
You know what is the link? Hold on. I always just go to no, I'm gonna I I can't remember if it's e-sangha.org or esangha.org. Let me just try it. Hold on, just take me a minute. Let me go at e. Okay, all you have to do is go to e-sangha.org. Let me come back to the meeting. So you're going to go. I'll put this in the chat. Where's the chat? Chat. There it is. Chat. It's e-sangha.org. Hang on, it's a small e. And then when you click on this link, you'll scroll down till you see a box that says live broadcast. And click on live broadcast and you'll come right in. It may ask you for your name or something, just
Right.
Ellie, and you'll come right in. So it's e-sangha.org and just scroll down till you see it. It's a pretty big box. It says live broadcast. And you'll click on that and you're in.
Ellie, I would recommend that, if possible, coming on a little bit early if it's your first time. I remember the first time I had to kind of figure a few things out and fill a few things out. And most of them are not, you don't see them. You're just hearing each other. So,
But Tirtha Prabhu, I always like when I gave class today, I turned my video
mm-hmm,
on so
mm-hmm.
people could see. So people would like to see you. Ramananda, for some reason, he's very shy. Therefore, and he's the head guy. He's shy. He says that seeing someone is distracting, and I think the exact opposite. When I can see all of you, I'm getting so much
Mm-hmm.
um, of visual communication. The seeing you is I'm able to read so much more because we're communicating through all kinds of bodily signals. And so anyway, yeah, turn yourself.
Oh,
Definitely turn your.
and Gan Shyam is asking about the time. It's 6 a.m. Hawaii time, which Central Time, uh, 6 a.m. Let's see, 8, 10 would be 10 a.m. Central Time, or Eastern Time, it'd be 11 a.m.
Thank you, Tirtha Prabhu.
Yeah, you're welcome.
No, but oh, you said, oh, that's Eastern time. You said.
Eastern time would be 11. Central time would be
Okay,
10.
and West Coast
Mountain
time would
time
be
would be 9. West
right.
Coast time would be 8.
Right, that's it. Okay,
And that
got it.
all changes when the time changes again. So anyway.
But that'll be a while, so we'll
Right.
just go with the flow for now, and then we'll reconfuse you when we get into March. Okay, all right. So let's get to questions. So Tirtha Prabhu is asking. He was first, and he's asking a really interesting question. Haribol, please accept my obeisances. I miss you all. My question is, why is the material universe destroyed and recreated over and over again? Is there a purpose or understanding of that?
Oh, and
So,
Gurudev, I'm sorry to interrupt. I just want to also, I forgot to write down, in Christian scriptures, it talks about a similar thing, that there
oh,
will be a new heaven and a new earth. So I'm just curious about, okay, in Vaishnava teaching, what is the purpose of that?
okay. So regarding the purpose of it, I've never read anywhere where Prabhupada talks specifically about the purpose of the creation and destruction, but there's all kinds of things that relate, but I've never heard it directly addressed. So just for the heck of it, I called Ramananda and I read him your question, and he said, I never heard that question before. So I said, well, what, anything that you can remember that you're reading that specifically addresses it? And he said, well, we could speculate together, philosophically speculate. There's nothing wrong with philosophical speculation. Mental speculation is one thing. Philosophical speculation is another. Philosophical speculation is when we're based on Shastra trying to come to the conclusion of Krishna. Mental speculation is just nothing. You're just speculating all over the place. There's no intention to see how we can connect this. It's an attempt to connect the dots to Krishna. Okay, so the things that cross my mind are, first of all, the material world is a perverted reflection of the spiritual world. But it's a perverted reflection. And it's backwards. And the example we always give is that if we see a tree growing alongside of a lake, we'll see the tree, but the roots are at the top, right? And the branches are at the bottom. It's exactly backwards. They're like this. They're backwards. And if we look at the tree, it's still. The original tree is completely still, but the reflection, it's not still. It's always, the water is agitated. So there's always agitation. So the material world in this perverted reflection, it's all agitated. And to me, the waves represent birth, death, old age, and disease. It represents the threefold miseries, other living entities, or mind, or body. It destroys the whole thing. Just like sometimes we talk about sweet rice is delicious, but if you put some sand in it, nobody will eat it. So it's sweet rice, but it's got sand in it. So the spiritual world is real and the material world is real, but it has all the miseries in it and so on. Now, one of the things that kind of came in my mind is, okay, but he's asking about the destruction and it starts all over again. And to me, it's kind of symbolic of like night and day. There's night, and our day comes to an end. So at the end of Lord Brahma's day, everybody goes to sleep. There's a partial devastation. I think all the way up to all the way up past Svargaloka, all the way up to the planet of the sages. It people they all go to sleep. They get drawn back into the Mahat-tattva. Actually, they go into the body of Lord Brahma for the partial devastations, and then at the end of Lord Brahma. By the way, the end of Lord's day is. I jot it down. Hang on. At the end of Lord Brahma's day, which is 4.32 billion years, is how often this devastation takes place. So everybody gets kind of drawn back in. And when they awake, when they come back awake again, their karma is still with them. And so the same thing happens, but it's complete devastation at the end of his life. At the end of his life, there's a total devastation. And then we go back into the body of Garbhodakshay Vishnu. And then karma is still intact. We come out, but it's always changing the scene. Everything in the material world is temporary. And in the spiritual world, everything is eternal. And don't try to wrap your brain around this, but things are going on all day long. Things are changing. Like the Astakalya Lila, which I'll read you a little about that. I think I made some notes here. So the Astakalya Lila, which is changing in the spiritual world, but it's eternal at the same time. So don't ask me to explain it because I'm going to have to go there and then I'll tell you about it once I'm in Braj. But so there's Asta means 8, Astakalya Lila. So there's 8 different Leelas that are always happening all day. So at the end of night, the Nishanta Lila is when Krishna returns from the rasa dance. And then the early morning, awakening, morning duties and very gentle types of loving exchange are going on in the morning. We're just sort of waking up and it's kind of like a new day, very sweet new day. And in the forenoon, the cowherd boys are playing in the forest. And midday, it's peak intimacy in the forest. The pastimes get even more exciting and more confidential. And in the afternoon, returning with the cows to their joyful village life. In the evening, there's sunset pastimes. And at nightfall, all kinds of evening music and amusements and preparation for the rasa dance. And then the 8th, deep night, is when the rasa dance and the most confidential pastimes take place. So things are going on, but still they do sleep. they sleep. And so we also, in that sense, we sleep when we go back into either Lord Brahma or in Vishnu, and the whole scene starts again. In the spiritual world, it's completely satisfying. The material world, it doesn't work for the soul. The soul is used to everything eternal. But here, everything ends as a beginning and an end, and a beginning and an end. And you can't go back to it. It's so frustrating. You got to start over. Every life, you got to start over. You got to start over. Got to start over. So, other than that, the purpose of it is the material world is that perverted reflection. And Krishna is basically frustrating us with nothing is permanent. Nothing is permanent. And then we go to sleep and we wake up, we got our karma, and nothing is permanent. It all kind of starts over again. And that's all I can really say in that regard, because Prabhupada hasn't commented on it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you, Gurudev.
Best I can do with that one. Okay, so
oh, by the way, Raman Das had a hand up. I don't know if it still is or not.
I don't think I'm going to take questions because I want to move on and get everything covered. And then if we have time for questions at the end. Okay, can you explain the Mahat-tattva? This is Lakshman Prabhu. Can you explain the Mahat-tattva? How is a Mahat-tattva different or similar to Mahamaya? Okay, in one sentence, Mahat-tattva is the total material energy in an unmanifested state, which is activated by Mahavishnu, from which all material elements, senses, mind, cosmic manifestations gradually evolve. So the Mahat-tattva is like it's Krishna's material energy in an unmanifested form. And then it's Lord Brahma that takes that, and he is in charge of creation. He creates all the variegatedness with the building blocks of the Mahat-tattva. But when you try to compare Mahat-tattva with Mahamaya, they're not even related. Mahamaya is the illusion, the net that's put over our false ego, that's affecting the false ego, so that we're thinking that I'm Lakshman or I'm Larry. I can hardly remember anybody's names anymore. Oh, hold on. Madan Prabhu, I'm giving a class right now, but I'll call you afterwards. Haribol. Okay. So they're not really related. There's Mahamaya and Yogamaya. Mahamaya is Krishna's energy, diluting energy in the material world. To really genuinely think that I'm this body, that's impossible. This body's disgusting. But somehow we've identified and we think it's nice. That's Mahamaya. In the spiritual world, it's another illusion. Oh, who's this little boy? He's my buddy. He's not even, nobody's thinking he's God. They just love him. They don't care if he's God or not. They just love Krishna. So we're thinking we're stronger than him. We have to help him with certain things. Mother Jasoda's thinking, if I don't feed baby Krishna, he's going to die. Nanda Maharaj is thinking, he's pretty naughty. He's got a naughty streak. I got to talk to this boy. Right? So they're not even related. We can't compare them. It's like compare a song you like with vegetable soup. I mean, they're not, okay. They're not related and across. And then the material energy is described as imaginary, the Virat Purush. Okay, the material nature is, Virat Purusha, by the way, is described differently in different places. But it's like the Bhagavatam will give the example for a materialist, to somebody who they're just not, they're not ready for God's a little blue cowherd boy, but they just to get them thinking about a God. And so it gives the example that just think of the God as like, because all they know is nature. That's all they know. And they believe that they can experience. Well, just think God is God personally. Look at there's the sun and the moon. Think of those as God's eyes. And think of the clouds as the eyebrows of the Lord. Think of the ocean as the Lord's waist. Thinking of all the rivers as being the veins, and so on. That's Varata Purush. So it's imaginary that it really isn't God, but it helps us to start thinking about God. And it's authorized by the Vedas, because this is in the Bhagavatam. For a new person, they're not ready to go right for the little blue cowherd boy yet. Well, or a boar or a tortoise. God's a tortoise. So that's there in the Vedas. Okay, so I think that answers that. Okay, and then you're asking about the Mahat-tattva is a total material energy in its unmanifested state activated by Mahavishnu, yes, from which all material elements, senses, and cosmic manifestations gradually evolve. Yes.
Oh, that was a quote, Gurudev, from Srimad Bhagavatam.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Was there a question that went with that part?
No, you answered it very well, Gurudev. I think when my question came up is just sometimes when we're reading, it says Mahat-tattva, and then it'll say material nature. And then
Yes.
we'll read Mahamaya.
Mahat-tattva is a preliminary from which material nature comes.
Yeah.
It's not manifested yet. It's like in a seed form. And then when Lord Brahma gets it, he expands it all and builds everything.
Thank you, Gurudev.
And
I had a second one, only if you have time, Gurudev, and there's no other questions.
Okay, let's go on then. Ellie, Haribol Gurudev, my humble obeisances. I had a question I'd love for you to share your thoughts on. I've read several places in the Gita and the Bhagavatam that the mercy of the spiritual master can deliver even the most fallen soul to Krishna. Can you elaborate on this? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Yes, an advanced Vaishnava can deliver the most fallen person, but not on his own. He can do it as an instrument to Krishna. It's coming down all the way from Balaram, the original guru, through the disciplic chain. And when we connect with that, when an enlightened guru who is simply giving Krishna, I'm simply handing out what Prabhupada handed me, who's handing down what Bhaktisiddhanta handed him. But it's not it's not going to work as a one-way street. It's kind of like if I hand you a diamond, you've got to put your hand out and take it. If you don't take that diamond, what can I do? So that's the critical point there, is that the disciple has to be receptive. If we're receptive to that, the guru can deliver you, which is why we spend some time together before initiation to see if the energy's flowing properly. The guru can see, well, am I able to help this person? Do I seem to be getting through? Because maybe a better guru would be a better choice. And same with the disciple. Now, when we had Prabhupada with us, it was another story. Prabhupada was so powerful. He was like the perfect fit for everyone. But now we have to check it out and see for some time and see if that's working and see if we're able to follow to really accept it, to carry that. The mercy that the Guru gives is that, the Bhakti Lata Bij is described. The Bhakti Lata Bij means our devotional creeper. So we often think that the spiritual master is planting the seed or giving the seed. And sometimes it's described like that. But you have to take that seed and you have to plant it and you have to water it and you have to till the soil and you have to pull the weeds and it will grow. I mean, a seed is magical. A little seed is magical that it can turn into roses or mangoes, or of course mangoes are a pretty big seed, but there are some tiny seeds. Interestingly, the seed of a banyan tree is really tiny. It's super tiny. And the example I give is fig Newtons. How many people have eaten? I don't know if they still make fig Newtons. They have other versions of it. But you all know what I'm talking about, right? They're pretty good, actually. I think there's a movie star has his version of it, Paul Newman. Right. I think I saw Paul Newman. I don't know if you can call them fig Newtons. What do they call them? Fig bars or something? But every Tirtha Prabhu at least knows the original fig Newton. They're good. They have like this little thin crust on them, and they're a little tiny, crunchy, sweet, jelly-like stuff with little tiny, crunchy seeds in it. They're tiny. So the whole banyan fits in that little tiny seed. And because the banyan's in the, figs grow from banyan trees. Anyway, so you've got that seed, but you have to do all the work for it to grow. It isn't magically the guru's going to go, Zah! And now you're like, all surrendered to Krishna, you're a pure devotee. It doesn't work like that. But he's giving you that seed. And particularly the Shiksha Guru, he's there to really help you water it. He's there to help you all the way. That's a real Shiksha Guru. That he's there to help see you through it. Because there'll be difficult times. There'll be challenges. So yes, anyone can be saved. And the classic example was Jagai and Madhai. They were really sinful. Really sinful. And I'll give you even a better example that I like is Valmiki. Valmiki, do you know who Valmiki is? He was a really bad guy. I mean, I think descriptions I've heard, he was worse than Jagai and Madhai. He was really bad. And he was a murderer and really bad. And he was so sinful. When Lord Nityananda instructed Jagai and Madhai to chant the holy name, they did. They could. But Valmiki was so sinful, it wouldn't come out of his mouth. It wouldn't come out of his mouth. He could not say the holy name. I see that Ghanshyam is smiling. Ghanshyam, where am I going with this?
Yeah, so is it the same Valmiki, Gurudev, the one who wrote Ramayana?
Yes. Yes. What Narada Muni did, who knows? Tirtha Prabhu knows.
Yeah, you want me to say, or?
Yeah, go ahead.
So because he could not say God's name, I mean, he was so given evil propensities. He couldn't even get God's name out. He was given the name of death, right? Mara, Mara, Ra, Mara, 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 Ra. And pretty soon it turns into Rama, Rama, Rama. So that's how he eventually went to saying God's name. And what I do with that particular story is I start with where someone is. I start with where they're at, and what is it that we can do that will help them to begin to open that love for God, because it's
Right.
in there. So I like to start where they're at.
Right. That's what we have to do. We got to know where they're at, figure out where they're at, and then go from there. I give the example of the GPS. The GPS just wants to know, where are you? Where are you? Doesn't care where you've been. Where are you now? Where are you now? Where you want to go? So, yeah, he couldn't say. So Narada Muni, he's so brilliant that he came up with something. He had to get really creative. So he said, okay, you can't chant Krishna's names. Well, chant death. Mara. Mara means death. Mara. Mara, 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 Mara. It turned into Ram. And he got purified. So the reason we're going over this story, Ellie, is because somebody, no matter how fallen someone is, anybody can be saved if they want to be saved, if they're willing to be saved, and they're willing to do the needful. And I'll honestly say, at my stage, I'm still doing the needful. I'm not a pure devotee. I'm not. Our process is pure, and my intent is purity. I don't want anything. I just want Krishna to be happy. I want to please Krishna. I'm not looking to be like a demigod, that I'll serve Krishna, but I also want my take. I also want to kind of feel, groovy. I hand it all back to my guru. Hand it back up the line. So, yeah, the lowest, there's no one that can't be saved. Why? Because the soul is pure. The soul is pure. There's no such thing as a contaminated soul that can't be saved. All souls are pure. And I'll say it, even Donald Trump, as much as I don't, it's almost funny now, but not funny. Even the worst people that we could think in this Kali Yuga, even Adolf Hitler, the soul is pure. So, yes, that's what the guru can do. Okay. Lakshman Prabhu, what was your other question? I remember reading it.
There we go. Okay, Gurudev, can you hear me okay, Gurudev?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Okay. Oh, there we are. Okay. There it is. Okay. My question for this week is from the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, verse 24. Brahmanam Brahmahavir, a person who is fully
Brahmarpanam Brahmahavir Brahmagya Brahmanahutam Brahmaivatena Gantavya Samyak Vavasito Hisa.
Thank you, Gurudev. A person who is fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness is sure to attain the spiritual kingdom because of his full contribution to spiritual activities in which the consummation is absolute and that which is offered is of the same spiritual nature. In the purport, Prabhupada states that a principle that a principle of Krishna consciousness is described here in this verse. He says that matter dovetailed for the cause of the absolute truth regains its spiritual quality. My question is, if one does not really feel fully absorbed, that the contribution is full and the consumption is absolute, I guess my question is, how can we develop greater faith that the Lord indeed picks up what we lack and not cheapen the assumption of that?
Got it. Okay, so let's go over that, what that's talking about. Brahmarpanam Brahmahavir. So that's talking about making an offering into the fire. Whatever you, let's say you're doing a fire yajna and you throw grains into the fire, they become consumed and they become spiritualized. This is a practical thing that we see in the fire yajnas. We're throwing grains in, and because they're offered into the fire, they become spiritualized. So as we probably use the word dovetail, as we dovetail what we do in the service of Krishna, it all becomes spiritualized. And so we're serving Krishna, and because our bodies are serving Krishna, they literally become spiritualized. And the activity becomes spiritualized. If you're like, just like somebody's raising a child, there's nothing spiritual about that. Nothing at all. Raising a child. I mean, goats raise their kids. A baby goat's called a kid. I mean, even, I've heard even mother alligators protect their young to some degree. There's nothing spiritual about it. But if our intent is that, let me help this child, let me offer this child to Krishna to the best of my ability, that becomes completely spiritual. The whole activity becomes spiritualized. And just like Ellie, she has a little 3-year-old girl, and she brings her to the temple on Sundays, and she hears the kirtan, and she's around the devotees, and she eats some prasadam. That's completely spiritual activity. Now you mentioned about how do we not feel as if it's somehow cheapened. Well, first of all, it is a fact that the degree with which we surrender to Krishna says in the Gita, Ye tamang prapajante tang sata bhajamyaham. To whatever degree we surrender to him, he rewards us accordingly. So the degree with which we're really willing to give our heart to Krishna, to that degree it becomes not cheap. But Krishna's not asking for a lot, especially when we get started. In the Gita, what does Krishna ask for in the Gita to get us started? What's that verse? Anybody know where I'm going with it?
You're talking about offering a leaf or a flower?
Yep. Right on, Tirtha Prabhu. Yeah. Patram pushpam palam toyam. Yome bhaktya prayashiti. Taraham bhaktya pahritam ashnami prayatatmana. Krishna says, offer me with devotion, a fruit, a flower, leaf, water, I will accept. Anything that we're only, Krishna takes it, it's a big deal. You take one step towards Krishna, he's going to take 10 towards you. Krishna wants us back. I mean, he's excited. He's excited. He loves us unlimited. We can't even imagine how much he loves us. And he's loving us more all the time. That's the nature of real love, spiritual love. Not like it's this material world. Two people love each other and then they hate each other. Right? Tell me about it. I've had some experience. Of course, I'm not going to say I still feel for my wife that, anyway, she became mentally ill. I'm still greatly wish her well. We were together for 29 years. And but anyway, we're both devotees, and she's still a devotee, but difficulties. But, materialists, where there's no Krishna involved, then they can hate each other today, love each other today, and they're the worst enemy. Sometimes they'll kill each other. They'll get a new hot chick. The guy will get a new hot chick, and they'll murder his wife to get her out of the scene. Sometimes the new girlfriend will help participate, or she'll take care of it. Anyway, but Krishna's love is the love in the spiritual world is. We're only seeing a perverted reflection of love. Even my own mother, I love my mother so much. I can't imagine. I know it's a perverted reflection of Krishna's love. It's really sweet. I mean, it's super sweet. But it's really a reflection. It isn't prema. Pretty nice what it is. And everybody will agree in this material world, even that reflection of love is the highest pleasure in this world. And it's just a reflection. It's not even the real deal. Whoa, and it's exactly the top of the hour.
Thank you so much, Gurudev.
Well, thank you all. And by the way, tell others, anybody wants to invite anyone to come for our New Year's Eve morning to hear from Tirtha Prabhu. I can't wait.
You mean Christmas Eve?
Yeah. Christmas Eve. I'm sorry. What did I say?
New Year's Eve.
Oh, thank you. I'm sure he could come up with a great Jesus-oriented, Krishna Jesus-oriented New Year's about the new year. It's a new beginning. And it's a new go deeper. I can see Tirtha just like taking right off with that. But anyway, so thank you all for being here. And is Abhiram Das still with us?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Okay, Ram Das, why don't you, I'm going to answer your question. I'm going to end the meeting for now, and then you and I can discuss. I'm going to get your question answered. So thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Yeah.